I wrote 4 books in a year. Everyone, my name is Bex Gil, and I am the author of the Throne of English duology, Throne of English and Crown of Sorrows, a dark Christian YA romance fantasy, and my upcoming book, which is a novella, a Middle Eastern dark fantasy novella, Daughters of the Sun, based in it, or inspired by a true story. And then I also have Bound to the Tyrant King, a Korean historical standalone new adult romance novel that is coming out in October. Now, forgive me for the little bit of exaggeration. It is true that I started picking up writing again just about this time last year. And then within that 6 months, I published Throne of English. And then after that came out, about 5 months later, Crown of Sorrows came out, and then now Daughters of the Sun is coming out in August, and Bound to the Tyrant King is coming out in October. And you might be thinking, Bex, what's your secret? How did you write so much? Well, first of all, it's kind of deceptive because Throne of English is 93,000 words is the final word count, and I already had 44,000 written from high school. So I literally had half of it done. And that obviously really helped things to go faster. And so then I got it up to 80,000. Beta readers helped me out so much. I got it up to 93,000 and published it. And then Crown of Sorrows is only 63,000 was the final word count. So I write on the shorter side of, YA fantasy. And I'm really more inclined to writing short books. Now, some of that also had to do with it was my first book. It's not going to be perfect. And so I had, quite a bit of telling rather than showing, which keeps your word count lower. And I've become a much better writer since then. But in general, I've just discovered that I am inclined and naturally gifted for shorter works. So Daughters of the Sun is currently, I believe, at 27,000 words. So it's a tiny little guy. So cute. Look at the size of my hand in comparison. And then I also wrote a 5,000 word anthology story. And then currently Bound to the Tyrant King is 75,000 words. So all of my pieces are just on the shorter side. And that obviously means that I can write more books, but they're shorter books. It's always why I say don't compare yourself to people, because maybe you're writing a 200,000 fantasy that you plan on having be a 12-book series, right? That's going to be different where I have a lot of short series. I am a standalone to trilogy girl, both as a reader and a writer. That's my sweet spot. And I'm currently writing a Korean dragon rider fantasy that's going to be a trilogy, and it's actually been really challenging for me trying to figure out the pacing because it's so different from what you do for a standalone and what you even do for a duology. And another reason you shouldn't compare, aside from word count, is that I am disabled from chronic Lyme disease, and so I stay home. I don't work. By the grace of God, I have a wonderful family who supports me. My husband and I live with my parents. And so I'm really pursuing indie publishing because it's something that I can write. I can do the work on my own time. I also sell pre-made sci-fi and fantasy covers if you're looking for an affordable cover option to try and help with make money that way. So it's a work from home job that I can do whenever my health is less bad. I also don't have any kids. So I try to spend time with my family, my relatives, my husband, and our fur babies, but I don't have kids. I don't have a job. So I have a lot more time, to write. And I do have a disability, but I also sometimes tie my value to my productivity. So I end up writing a lot. And ultimately, I'm just going to keep writing for as long as God allows me to. So yeah, that is how I wrote basically 4 books, which again, it sounds like a lot, but when you factor in that one is a novella and they're all under 100,000 words, it's not that it's less impressive because it's all skills. Writing long things is a skill, writing short things is a skill. But just don't compare yourself because word count matters. Not even page count, because spacing, font size, that all changes the page count. The word count, right, is going to be different. Our life circumstances are going to be different that allow us to do things. So don't compare yourself. I like the term, keep your eyes on your own paper and just focus on, no matter your circumstances, no matter how much money you do or don't have, just do the best you can. Focus on writing and find joy in creating it, because let me tell you, I have not made much money. from my books. And I'm praying that the Lord would bless me, and I would. Oh, and last but not least, I also have a Kindle Vella story, The River Sings for You, which is a Avatar The Last Airbender inspired fantasy. It is not fanfic. It still has its own uniqueness to the world. And that is on Kindle Vella. The first 10 episodes are free, so go check that out, please. And thank you guys for watching.